Hey, how are we doing? Alex here. Working on a track this morning. Dimensional Resort, I think, is the one I'm going to have another crack at. I've worked on this on stream before. I may even have started it on stream. I know I say that about every track I work on, but it's possible. So I'm going to do what I normally do, and that is listen back to the track in its entirety. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to turn my monitoring off when I do that. And I'll let you guys hear it so you got some context. I've already written some notes on this, and I did that the other week, and I haven't listened to it since then or anything. And I've got an idea of what I want to work on, so I'm just going to go through those points. I'm going to probably try and do a bit of mixing as well, or something akin to that. We'll see how we get on. So I will play this track, and it's called Dimensional Resort. If you follow my stuff, you might recognise it. Not that screen yet. Okay, so draft. Make sure we've got the right one. Yeah, so I'll press play, let you hear it, and then we'll have a crack at the points on my list. yeah, so there we go. That is a full playback of the track Dimensional Resort as it stands. So, morning Jarson. I have made a list of stuff I want to work on, and it's a pretty short list now because I think the track is pretty much done. That is, I want to try a little bass fade out before the spoken word Dimensional Resort. I recorded that myself on stream, just on the laptop microphone. Then I might have a kind of pass at a mix, and just clean up the session a bit and kind of get rid of stuff that's not being used, like bits like this, you know, it's all dead now, and see what I've got to mix down. So, what should I start? Oh, and also, no, I want to try it without bass for the intro, but I might give it a listen and see what I want to do first. So, I always save a version every time I work on anything. Ninth of March. So there's quite big gaps between these sessions. That was end of January. February is a short month, but whilst that's doing that, I just want to give a quick shout out to my patrons. There they are in their glory. Oleg, Theo, Rain City Sounds, Mondrian Square, Raj, Doug, Mikas, Tom, Marksman, Will and Varun. Thank you very much for your support. If you're interested in pledging on Patreon, everything is in the description. Along with links to where you can find my music on the internet. So let's find where that bit is that I'm going to try. The first point is fade out bass and breaks before Dimensional Resort spoken word comes in. So that is somewhere later, isn't it? And it's me saying it's here, isn't it? Yo, Tom. Elkie. How are we doing? So maybe something here. Cut. Do that. I want to put my keyboard lights up a bit. That's it. So on a little bit like cut there, I want it to go just kind of like before it all kicks back in after the. That's good. It's kind of what I was after. Save that. Certainly enough for me to know bass for intro. So it's quite like an expansive intro, this one. Let me get rid of myself as well, because I don't want to be blocking your guys' view. And it's quite bright outside and probably a bit overexposed. Okay, yeah, bass. No bass in the intro. Doing some random arrangement here. I'll drop things out before I bring them back in again. Cool. Alright, we're rolling. And now I'm going to have a bit of a clear up. So I never worry really about the state a track is in until the very end. I kind of, over time, like, I've tried to be brutally efficient to the point where unless I'm dead certain, or unless I'm like 90%, 70%, 70%, so unless I'm 70% sure that I'm going to finish this track, it's only the very last stages that I start to get rid of stuff and clean it up and maybe tidy things up a bit. I don't like doing that unless I'm really, because otherwise it's just a waste of time. It's a waste of time. I try to look for the things in my workflow that are just time wasting unless I'm going to finish the tune. If you don't need to do it until the very end, don't do it. It's really about getting the ideas down and shaping the piece before you worry about any of that stuff. So none of that is being used. None of this is being used. Okay, but everything else by the look of it is dimensional resort. That's cool. I love this bit. What's happened there? Okay, that's too quick. Yeah. Brilliant. Alright, so nothing happening on this one either. So we've got this tiny break, haven't we? Got the Apache. Funky drummer. What's on this bad boy? Nothing. Nothing on you either. What's on this one? Two basses are there. So what's happening there? So the track gets its title from Dimensional Resort. Kind of like weaving in these made up narratives but to my music, like a hotel in the future in space. Just going to lower the blind. Oh, that's better. Okay. So I'm just what I'm doing here is just looking for all the tracks, just checking out everything that I've got in this tune. So we've got all this kind of percussion business, haven't we? Patches is a good website, and there's some great free kind of loops and stuff on there, and some really good paid stuff. Occasionally it features in Ableton. So me, I'm just going to leave that as that, me. And what we got here, we've got this weird... These are kind of all divas, aren't they? Thank you for that. So, and these are all doing, okay. So they're doing kind of chancy things, but, oh well, I think I'll just... So these are some patches from my forthcoming sample pack with Elkie, who checked in this morning. And, yep, Elkie, aka Tom, aka Elkie, has a wave station, and we sampled all the kind of nice, cool pad patches and some bells and stuff like this. Oh, lush! That is well nice, isn't it? Lovely. Okay, so I'm going to bounce all that down, I think. So we've got the bass, the pads, arps. We've got the stuff here, the brakes. Yeah, okay. what I also like to do here is just get rid of all the extraneous MIDI in here, because if you bounce stuff down, it bounces the slots in the in here as well. So I'm just going to group them just for clarity at this point. Let's see what we've got. Drums. Then we've got bass. I like to keep my bass stuff simple, really, you know, especially in music of this genre. I was talking to a patron about it the other day, about, you know, for kind of the more old school jungles, that like an 808 is like perfectly adequate for a lot of stuff, because to me the breaks are kind of what does it for me in that genre. In stuff like more modern drum and bass, the drums are quite static. They don't do very much. It's like boom jack, boom jack, boom jack. You know, that kind of two-step pattern, or similar. I find if you're having too much mashup in the breaks and too much like honky bass stuff, it just is it's harder to mix. It doesn't work as well compositionally. Then we've got the vocals. Let's put these together in. I don't have a set procedure for mixing things, because every track is different and it's really about being adaptable. You know, I'll put all the synths together. I don't always have to have things in a particular way. I think that's the biggest lesson I've learned over time, is just be flexible with every track. Every track requires a different approach. There's no like, I get a bit exasperated is the word I was looking for. I get a bit exasperated sometimes when I see people having to be so rigid about it, because or talking about it in a rigid sense, because it's really about no one piece of music is the same as another, and they all require different approaches, and it's best to just practice mixing as much music as you can and learn to adapt on the spot to what's in front of you. And we've got this VHS effect, so I'm just going to have to leave that on the master now. I don't normally do stuff on the master, so we'll see how it comes out in the wash. So, okay, I'm gonna bounce this now. I'm gonna bounce this. We'll do it in stages. What have I got on these things? I don't care. I'm just gonna roll with it. We're just gonna go for it. I've actually got the day of work today, so I'm sure a lot of people are working and watch this back at later, but that is why I'm streaming on a Wednesday morning. And I think I'm going to stream again later. I'm actually performing on Ned Rush's More Kicks and Friends patron concert on the 26th of March. I doubt many yeah, if you see this and you're a patron of Ned Rush, then you'll see me on there then. If you're not familiar with his channel, that is surprising, because I would be surprised you found me before you found him. But yeah, he makes YouTube leading content about Ableton, about using Ableton creatively. I think he's like one of the best creators using Ableton, the most kind of original and unique, and just approaches it in a way that's like, yeah, unique and original, and treats it like really like an instrument. So, but anyway, yeah, I'm performing on his thing for his patrons, and then I think we're going to try and do a live stream down the line together on my channel as well. So that should be really fun, because I really admire his work. I think he's brilliant. Flat tracks. So exciting things to come for the channel. Yeah, I'm just going to freeze these. Over time, I've got less precious about all this stuff, and actually making progress with the music. You know, maybe I'll come back on for this. So, you know, making decisions. You know, not being paralysed by choice. at any one point in the music, like, oh, have I processed that enough? Have I done this enough? Is this, there isn't, you know, you can always go back if you save every version, and you can always just do it. You can always just tweak the stuff that you've done. I think on listening to this, I didn't feel like anything needed loads of modulation. You know, I like to freeze stuff down just because it's set then, especially if there's stuff that's got random things on it and it's set and it's not going to change, especially when you're mixing stuff. Hey Jumanji, day off, yeah. Yeah man, he's good, isn't he? I do, yeah, I've got Patreon now, been putting some stuff on it. I like to kind of, really, because the channel's quite small, I'm kind of wanting to keep people engaged just anyway, so try to do a bit of content on, just on the channel in the descriptions, you know, free stuff for everyone. I'd like to keep that, I'd like to do that, you know, balance of stuff really. And I set up a Discord, Jumanji. I just need to like work out how I'm going to use it, and then I'll publicise it. So yes, that's finally happened. But I think it would be a good place to share samples and stuff like that, because people are always asking me about Jungle Warfare, and we could just put them on there, you know, I'm sure. And then people wouldn't have to be like, well, I can't, archive.org has got rid of them again or whatever. They could just be on there forever. Okay, so I bounced all that stuff down. I've got these are kind of the set things I have on every track. Vintage, on my template, vintage for room. I've got 2 room sounds, so I was probably doing something with it. Like a different. I really like the Valhalla reverbs for like tasteful reverb. I actually think they do sound a bit better than the Ableton ones, or I prefer the sound. It's not. There's no absolute. And then I've just got a limiter on the thing at the moment. So what's the time? All right, I'm going to see if I can do like a quick. How am I going to do this? Well, I'll tell you what I will do. I'm going to create a track. This is what I do with. I'm going to call this reference, right? And then I'm going to pull in my. Put in my master bus utility. Turn. Yeah, I'll keep you on. And then on my master, I've got those set up already. Yeah, cool. Alright, so I'm going to do some key commands. This is unnecessary really now, I think. I don't really use this as much as I used to. My process is always changing, and again, being adaptable and just rolling with it and being flexible, regular practice, you kind of adapt to what. That's just how you improve. Splurge. No, where is it? Done. So what I like to do as well is to pull in I like to pull in the mix as it stands, so I can just compare it to what it was in case I get wildly lost. I'll do a key command on here. Solo. Key command means you could map keyboard things, map keyboard shortcuts. So I'm going to put /. So if I switch to that, turn it off, I can solo that, and I'm going to bypass the master. Let me get rid of myself for this. Bypass the master here, so that it, when I do that, there we go. So I'm just hearing the reference track now. Yeah, so I'm that's my kind of reference to check back in on. There's a limiter. Unnecessary really on that, but anyway. So let's just do it then. I'm just going to go into the process of what I normally do. What I normally do is kind of just check the levels of everything, then maybe have a rebalance and get it vibing, like between breaks and bass especially, maybe remixing the reverbs and stuff like that and the echoes. I spend most of my time on the volume of things, but over time my process has kind of blended into, I do a bit of this, then I do a bit of that, and I do a bit of that. But generally it's kind of volume. Volume is the most important thing in mixing. Oh, thanks, Jumanji. Big up. Native Instruments Audio 2, sick, yeah. What's the I've got a Behringer Euphoria UMC22 that I like. It's only got 2 inputs, but my other one was a bit dodge. I've actually got like Elky. I've got his interface as well, which is better. An old interface, which is a Native Instruments one, the Audio 6, I think it is. But that's got like MIDI, and it's got. I'd like to do something like someone lent me this. The Behringer Acid, the TD3, and I had a play on it. It's absolutely sick, and I would love to do some more. I've got hardware. I've got like some drum machines and a couple of the Volcas and an MS-20 and a mixing desk and all that stuff. But it's just having someone to set it up and keep it set up. But what I'd really like to try is syncing my MFB 522 or whatever, which is like an 808 clone, to the TD3 and giving that a rinse out at some point. Maybe recording some stuff with it. Yeah, that's cool. So I've been using Reactor a lot, which has got like a Monarch Mini in it on the blocks thing, and it's really cool. Sounds great. Sounds really, really good actually, their synths. Okay. So there we go. So we've got our so that's our reference, and I think the best way to do this is kind of jump into it. Make some footwork jungle. Yeah, that'd be cool. I do like that kind of thing. I think I unintentionally make it quite often. You know, like Rashid, DJ Rashid, on the hardware. Yeah. Yeah, definitely those big boomy 808s, boom, boom. Is it DJ Rashid or I can't remember? There's lots of good footwork. Okay. So I'm just gonna come off the chat for a second while I kind of focus on doing this. Slightly nervous. It's always nerve-wracking doing a mix because you kind of got things as it reasonably set. So I'm going to turn off the limiter, turn off all this stuff. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to turn off the sends as well, right? My reverbs and stuff like that. So we've just got dry signals, and I'm going to turn off. I'm going to go into stuff. I'm going to turn it all off. I'm just going to check the gains of things here. Yeah, I'm going to leave the panning probably as it is. I'm just going to turn all this off. Turn this off. I've only grouped stuff here so I can see it better. You don't need to group things according to their instrument type. It's kind of more of an organisational thing. Find your own way is my advice for mixing. Ref, put you in a nice bit of red. Alright. And the handy thing about having the reference WAV in here is you can see the loudest parts. So probably here or here, you know. Or there. Let's go with this bit and see what we got. So we've got nothing coming in yet. So I'm literally checking the gain of stuff here. That's probably fine. just going to put all those at 0. They're probably fine. Got some funky drummers at some point. Let's loop this bit. Oh no. I'm just checking the volumes here. That's probably fine. I got one. I'm looking for it to be about -18 RMS. Just means it's not like blowing out loud. Just leave the things I've put in, and leave these reverbs as they are as well. All right, that's good. So they're all kind of ready to be brought in. Bass is. I think the thing with bass is it can be a bit intimidating sometimes, but really you just want to keep it simple with mixing wise. I might see what things are sounding like. I might try a few tricks on it. See, it's a bit hot at the moment. Probably bring it down a bit. And see, it's slightly stereo for some reason, so I'm going to mono that because I don't want or you know, you could even bass mono below a certain thing. Okay. So I'm not even listening to anything at this point. Let's go over a bit where it's nice. And so just moving the loop brace here. Again, there's some kind of, it looks like it's slightly, not sure what's happening there. Anyway, it's a bit hot. Bring it down. Cool. Simps. Just going to 0 all these off. There's quite a lot of simps. There is a lot of simps in my tunes because I like big, expansive synthesizer stuff. Go this. What we got? This kind of pad sound. That's fine. We'll bring up this dimensional resort thing. That's a bit louder. That's probably fine. I think that ARP's okay. Where's the Aphex synth? I'm going to pull you up a bit. Wow, wow, wow. Dolphin lead. So I'm gain staging here. This is what it's sometimes known as. The idea is you kind of keep a nice steady gain running throughout everything, so you're not overly boosting it or it's not too quiet at any point, because you want the gain to be consistent. So look at this. Is a good example of something here. So this bit's quite quiet. But then it's louder here. Cool. So that's almost like a bit of automation, really, just to get it nice and lined up volume-wise. What's in this one then? Dimensional resort. Boost that a bit. So it's just around. It's panned at the moment. That's fine. I'm not going to worry about the fact that it's not dead center. I probably use the utility more than such a good little plugin. 18. Okay, cool. So -18. You know, you could say this is not really. It's probably less important than if you were dealing with real world instruments, in which case gain is a bit more important. Whereas for what we're doing, that's fine. But what we're doing, like with electronic stuff, it's like that's made in the box. It's less essential to get things like bang on. It's because there's a lot of stuff on the internet about this, about gain staging. And sometimes I think you have to be wary of the fact that people are just looking to make content about stuff, you know. And I think it takes like, it's only over time that you get used to how you like to do things, that you're like, oh, that was kind of irrelevant to what I do, you know. Like compression and EQ, you know, because they are quite complicated to understand, and because people like, you know, everyone wants to have their take on it. Like, I don't think there is a right or wrong answer. There definitely isn't. You know, there's kind of good practice, and there's certain things that are just like understanding on your own terms and how you use it and how you like to use it, you know. And it's really like, what's more important is good arrangement, good songwriting, good ideas, good musicality. And compression and EQ are like so low down on the list of things to worry about when you're writing a track. They should be at the bottom. Yeah, thanks, Tom. That's all right, no worries. You'll catch up. Yeah, it's good. Really pleased with that. So I'll be prepping for the set as well on here on stream, and then and then performing it. So I've kind of got an idea. I'm kind of going to try some electro stuff out, maybe some footworky things, you know, like to kind of have a switch up every time I do anything like that. Right, so everything's kind of gain staged now. Get these nice and even. Right, and really, maybe I'm going to look to mix after here, because this is kind of the, you know, the... That's the kind of nice dreamy bit. So I'm going to kind of mix things around the break. So I'm just keeping on the volume here. I like to mix. I like to vary the volume as I'm doing it, you know, to kind of, so let's see if we can get something happening in the bass. So 0, I like to 0 and then just bring in. So I'll turn the volume up here so I can hear it better. So it's jungle, so the bass should be pretty loud. Okay, I'm happy to balance that together. You see, so that didn't take long at all. That's like, took what, 15 seconds? So I'll bring the volume down again now, and I'm going to look into bringing the funky drummer here. So I like to kind of think of like almost like a triangle, you know, what are the kind of three important thing, like I like the majority of the mix is centered around kind of key elements like the drums and the bass and certain instruments. So for this it would be some of the synth parts. So what part would that be? Let's have a listen to the ref. So probably that affixy sounding, that wow. So this is the point I bring in that reverb, that whole reverb. And I might do some stuff to kind of modulate this about a bit. So I'm going to chuck on a phaser. Of water pans. I'm going to do some EQ now. Cool, that's fine on that. prime example of like, just don't EQ stuff necessarily before you've just mixed it in, because especially not in solo mode sometimes, well, not always. With hi-hats and stuff like that, I'm just literally looking to hear them come in. Quite resonant. Cool. All right. Let's move on to somewhere where the Apache is here. I've got this pad as well. do a bit of side chain here. Subtle business. Just from Tiny, I think. EQ, so it's just a kick. Hear that? Don't know if I'll keep this. What have I got going in there? Quite big sound. It can be helped to glue things together sometimes. Like that they sound cohesive, like they're in a space together. Jarson, yeah, I'd say mix down. Is again, it's a practice thing. Just checking on the comments now. The more you mix, the more kind of. Unfortunately, it comes with the necessary hurdle of just having to mix stuff you've probably lost interest with and don't really like anymore. And your first mixes are not going to sound as good as your mixes once you've done, do one mix, it'll probably be all right. If you do 10, they'll get better. But like once you've just keep practicing. It's like any other aspect of music, it's a practice thing. And over time, you tune your ear in, and you can kind of. Right, I'm going to take it from the top and just check. I think I've almost got everything. doing some adding Inphonic to the bass line here, the Inphonic RX950, which is it's a drop here. Gonna do some beat specific. Yo, how's it going? So sometimes when you distort things, the bass is compressed and you lose kind of low end from doing that. So I'm just going to check what's happening. Yeah, I like that. I'm going to keep that on. I'll just pull it over here as well, check out what it's like on the 808. When does that come in? And yeah, I was teaching the other day, and the student, I said about reverb on the bass to a student, hey Mikas, and he was like, oh, reverb on the bass, and so you can definitely you can add reverb to bass lines. So can you hear that? So that's the bass with reverb on it. They can just help to like make it glue together. Tend to EQ my reverbs as well. Sometimes called the Abbey Road technique. Yeah, that's where they first did it. So you just you EQ the reverb around so that you don't have too much top end and you don't have too much low end. So many fine moves over the course of a mix. Still haven't mixed this. Sounding pretty good now. Oh, I didn't bounce these vocals. Let's just do that then. Yeah, I'm liking how this is feeling now. So, how long have I been on for? An hour and 14. That's pretty good, really. So I've kind of done. Fade up bass and breaks before dimensional resort spoken word comes in. Mix down, no bass for intro. Yeah, so I should have a rough mix down soon. You don't have to do all this stuff really, and you could just I guess I kind of enjoy the mix process actually. If you can work out how to enjoy it, then you'll be. So let's get this. Cool little trick, just set audio to sends only. Sort of a delay here maybe. I'll try this dirty tape plugin from Softube, which sounds quite nice actually. Nice, gonna add a bit of overdrive I think to that. See, I haven't planned any of this. This is kind of just me. Like, there's no set procedure. This is all just kind of just. Can EQ that as well. It's gonna be like really tight. Like a band pass thing. Bug it off. Just going to compress that actually. That makes me laugh every time. Might use echo for this so that I want it to go am I using E at all? Maybe I could just sod it, I'm just gonna do it on the insert. I have to turn the help. So ducking these parameters because yeah, that's what I want. That's feeling pretty good. So I'm going to do a quick master now. One thing I left. So I made a mastering chain the other day of my favourite plugins for mastering. And I left out CQ, SciQ, which I like as well. Close you, save you, yeah. Before I do that, I'm just going to kind of A/B between. So let's go from a loud section. So I'm just making sure the volumes are equal. So this is. So I'll A/B between, you'll see it on the reference when that comes on, the solo comes on. So we'll give it a listen. This is my mix, and that's the reference. So they're pretty close. I'd say mine sounds a bit clearer because I've just balanced stuff. So there's by clearer I mean you can hear everything a bit louder because it's more balanced. So this is that tape stop I've done. So the first thing I do is like to just again gain stage on the master. Gonna keep this quick and dirty. It's kind of I do the same thing every time. So -18. We're just gonna low pass. I've got my sides. Set this to mid-side mode. I'm just going to carve off a little bit. You can even boost stuff on the sides. Just to like bump high up, you know. Maybe try that. So I need a bit of bass really. So I try and do really small moves on mastering it. Don't really like to do that anymore either, just like sweeping, because you're like, it's just not fair representation. Jar-san, you still on? You come back. I think compression and EQ, they're like the most important things on a mix, really. Mastering. Yeah, that's good. I normally wouldn't do... I think over time I'll probably find a time that I like to just stream regularly, but like for the in the early days I was just experimenting really, and this is only because I'm off work today. I'd normally be on earlier just documenting it really, but it might be that I just over the next year or so I just stick to one time a week to do something. But then also I quite just like working on tracks on stream because it feels like that's more genuine of what's actually... I'd be worried I might try and stage things too much if I didn't do it like this. I think attack and release times are pretty important really for compression on the master bus. It's worth spending a bit of time just kind of getting your ears around them. I wish I could tell you to what I mean. It's kind of how the track grooves together, and you can hear it kind of being compressed together or triggered by the loudest points in the music that's causing the compressor to reduce the gain based on the attack and release settings, and then you're compensating by turning it up, which turns up perhaps if you've let the transients come through, then you're turning up the gain of everything, so the attack and the transients will be perceived louder. but then it'll also it'll turn up the. So let me think about this. It always makes sense in my mind, and then when I try and explain it, it kind of falls apart. But so the compressor is triggered by things which exceed the ratio, the threshold, exceed the threshold. So anything that's louder than that signal will cause gain reduction. But if you have the attack settings long enough, it will let through the transient portion of it, so that when you apply the gain reduction, the transient seems louder. So it's kind of balancing the attack and release settings, and obviously how long the compression lasts for is determined by the release settings. So it might be that a certain portion of the overall waveform is turned up, and it's perceived to perhaps be a bit more bumping with the drums. So if you had it such that the attack was really low, then the sustain of the sound would be louder. If you were using the makeup gain, then it would be the end of the sound, kind of as it was triggered by the compressor. So that's no effects on it. And if you look at the gain on the master bus, and this is what I'd encourage you to do with your own stuff, is it's pretty similar. Now some saturation. I generally like E, whatever E mode is. I don't think it does tell you somewhere in the perhaps in the manual. Do you hear that? And then I blend that in. It might just sound like nothing's happening, so I think it's very subtle, and like if overdoing it at this point will just ruin your mix. Just A and B between saturation. think I like decapitating more. And then I'm just going to apply some limiting here. So I'm going to turn off, yeah, I've got you off, good. I just use the maximizer on this. I'm going to set that to that. I'm going to pull that down to like 3. And I like to use 2 limiters because I just like the sound of it. I kind of... So let me make sure that I'm not deafening people. Check that. So I like to just turn up the first one until it starts to just get some limiting, very small. And then the second one. And you can hear the limiting happening, so let's just squash it. I'm just looking for -6 RMS. That'd be plenty loud. Plenty loud. You could probably even push that a bit more, but like that's certainly loud enough to put on Spotify and Bandcamp and stuff. So yeah, I think that's probably it. I'll just do a part of it. Go Wesley. Cool. Maybe that ending needs some work. Yeah. Hi, Wesley. How you doing? Good to see you on. Yeah, I know. Thanks, and thanks very much for that. I think I'll do something when I get to 1,000, probably, or maybe like 750, just to buck the trend. I mean, oh well, yeah. I'd like to do something for 1,000, so I'm not sure. But yeah, thank you very much. I think it's actually got like, it's quite daunting, the thought of even getting any subscribers on YouTube, really, just because I was like, I've not told any friends about the channel really, or any of my music producer friends. I didn't when it started, but then over time, it's like people just finding me, like you guys and everything. Then I was like, well, maybe I'll start telling everyone I know about it then now. And so I did that, and it was actually through a connection of a subscriber who hit me up for some one-on-one sessions, and he's also a patron of Ned Rush, and yeah, we kind of hooked up, and yeah, it all went from there really. And then he posted about the channel on his Twitter and stuff, so thank you, Ned Rush, for doing that. Yeah, no, it was good, wasn't it? Yeah, he does, like, he's kind of the reason that he kind of turned me on to all the break stuff, and a lot of I just do so much of the way I kind of think about Ableton now is thanks to him. I tell him that all the time, but he's too modest to he just kind of doesn't say anything. He doesn't say anything about it. But he's an excellent musician, and just like creative thinker, to do the stuff he does with Ableton, like all the generative stuff, the probabilistic stuff, and that's such a great way of thinking about it, kind of outside of the box. You know, when you open a door, you're kind of, there's almost they have an idea of how they want you to use it. I think Ableton is better than most for kind of it being sandbox-like, but things like Logic, or they have a user experience they want you to follow. you know, rather than something like Ableton where really it's great if you can kind of pick it apart and find your own way of approaching it that's not just like not like everyone else's, and I think Ned Rush does that, is the best example of doing that. And how like it's the creative stuff first, you know. You know, it's not like how to compress a kick drum and all this business, which is really quite dull and probably not as important as. I think it has its, all that stuff has its place, but like the creativity is king, really. It's the idea first. Yeah, cool. So I'm okay. There's a few things listening back to it that I was like, I'm not. I think that sounds pretty good. I can't remember if, like, in the reference, did I? The drums just stop. Yeah, that's fine then. I really like that effect. That actually quite works. Alright, I'm going to export that then. Don't know if you're still on Worsley, but Worsley had a new EP out recently, which is wicked. I think it's on. You're on Spotify, aren't you? Just without the second Y. Some good jungle. And that's where Discord will come in well, because I could post about stuff like that, and people could post about their music, their own music and stuff. It'd be cool for that. Yep. Yeah, no, I think that's kind of what made me think about it, Jarsom. Did you get me? Yeah, I did, mate. Yeah, I haven't had time to listen to it, to be honest. I've been flat out with work, but yeah, got all that. Thanks. So yeah, I will give it a proper listen. But yeah, is there a post about it if you've got? Is it on Spotify yet, or is it, or wherever you, or Bandcamp? Feel free to put it in the chat if you. What we're doing, right? So I'm going to export this now. Then. Yeah, I've been doing tech at rehearsals for where I work, which has been quite intense over the. I was working on Sunday, so hence being off today for that, and it's just been crazy busy doing concerts again for my job. So sick. All right. What we doing then? Yeah, it'd be good to have a Discord, because then people could worse. Oh, so it is 2 Ys. Thanks. Yeah, check it out, people. Draft. That's why Discord would be good, because I could post about stuff like that. Yep. Just going to do it as an MP3. That'd be fine. Could do it as a WAV, but I can't be bothered. Yeah, I think I'm going to release these tracks. Yeah. Eventually. So this one, Dimensional Resort, Botanical Envelopes, New Age Tape here, and then Harmony was the other one. And Hold Fast. So 4? Yeah, definitely. Check him out, Jarsom. Worsley and Elkie, who was on earlier on as well. And Jumanji's got bits out, of course. And have you got anything out, Jarsom? Do you release anywhere? I really liked your poster on Instagram, Worsley, that you made. Did you do visual arts or something like that? It was sick. Yeah, so I've got harmony, hold fast, dimensional resort, botanical envelopes, new age tape here. So they'll be the next releases, and I'll probably just do a Bandcamp EP for that, I think, or 4-track. In time you will. Yeah, so those, and I might call it harmony and have some kind of. They're all quite rich, and these originally my intention was to write a series of tracks just using samples, like focusing on samples. So most of these are sample based tracks, like no soft synths, and no drum machines. That was my idea, was that I would write, I'd focus on kind of keeping it really old school in that way. Dubplate Wars, yeah. Yeah, Elkie and Worsley, 2 wicked producers on the chat this morning. Yeah, it looked really wicked on Instagram, Worsley. I've read the poster looked wicked, looked sick. It's not. It is definitely good to do stuff like that, because really it's almost more like stuff like this, like streaming about making music or doing a project where you make an actual poster or artwork for it and you document it and it's on social media, for instance, or somewhere. I think that's really what people buy into nowadays, as much as, because once the release is out and stuff, it's just like, what, it's 5-6 minutes of music, however long minutes of music. It's the experience around the interaction with the artist, I find, like this, like doing this. We've never met in real life, but we all have a kind of relationship now where where we hang out on this stream and chat jungle, watch jungle, talk jungle, release jungle, breaks, that feels like where the community and the enjoyment around music is. Yeah, man. I think you've got a good aesthetic online though. It looks really good. Looks sick. Have you thought about doing something like this yourself? Like streaming or something? I think artwork's a big thing, and then just sending music to people, staying tenacious, staying dedicated. I've been doing this for like all my life pretty much, in one way or another. I'll check out the video. Where's the video then? Is that on your YouTube? Because you are on YouTube, aren't you? Did you say you made a video? No, just photo shoot. Yeah, I think that might be something I'll do today. Then I'll set my Discord up, put my Discord in there, and then it'll be somewhere for people to share about stuff like this, and put all the Jungle Warfare samples and shit like that. But yeah, I think it's as much about the kind of, like artists doing the where you can get them to record birthday messages for you and stuff. There's probably more money in doing stuff like that for people nowadays than there is for like the music. Yeah, cool. Focus on that, man. God, I didn't. Yeah. I was in a band then, so it was all quite this is much easier. Yeah, man. Totally. I'll be well up for that. Absolutely. Maybe once I've got these tracks out, I'm always keen to keen to work on anything really. Maybe do a remix or something like that. Yeah, and I'll check those tunes out today. All right. Well, I think I am going to call it there, and I might even come back on later to prep for do some stuff for the Ned Rush set, the Patreon set. So yeah. But I'll just say thanks to everyone who came in today. Jarson, obviously, Elkie, Jumanji, Beat Specific, Worsley. Yeah, cool. Well, have a great day, whatever you're doing. Yeah, I might come back on and make some loops later. Yeah. Cheers, Worsley. Good to see you. All right. Yeah, bless up. Have a good one.